Jake Hill is next in the queue, but look at Sutton. Sutton is going after Turkington. It's the contact behind. That was Jake Hill getting into Josh Cook. Josh is off through the gravel. If he does come out the other side, he's going to tumble way down the order. Two wheels up the curb, and Ash Sutton goes through, but there's contact, and here comes Camish up the inside. He's got past one. Can he get past two? Sutton gets run out wide. Camish has the inside line up towards Coppice. Sutton leans on him. Camish is not going to take that line down. He's the new race leader. Sutton is sideways with help from Turkington, and off he goes.
Well, it all just got a bit messy, didn't it? A little bit unruly.
Camish leads 0.6 of a second up. This is at the chicane. Cole Boardley turns in. Josh Cook is with him. And Josh Cook's off again. This is for 9th place, so the Morganator lines up for a move. Through he goes, but there's contact, and that's going to put him wide up the escape road. Jackson is delayed in all of that as well. Adam Morgan 1 up and several down.
Turkington will be losing tyre temperature.
This is the Hamilton answer at the chicane.
Just went in too quick to the right-hand part and lost the back, clipping the tyres as he...
Head of Cook, Smiley, Osborne, Jackson and Thompson, the scorers, and this is how Nicholas Hamilton got in the gravel.
Yeah, he was running wide, took too much entry speed into the corner.
Morgan wants to buy into this. So does Cook, so does Smiley. Sutton's got his nose in front, and he's done it. Fantastic. Jelly and Chilton are still side by side. Chilton gets roughed up onto the grass. Adam Morgan tries to get in on the act as well. There's drama in the background. Off has gone Jack Butel in the other Mercedes, and is that Ollie Brown that got involved with him? Either way, I'm afraid Jack Butel.
Further back, looking at the action here.
Tries to get in.
Yeah, it was Ollie Brown into the back of Jack Butel.
He was on the grass. Now this is for 6th. Camish on the inside, he's ahead of Jelly finally, who's across the gravel again. Ingram gets tagged sideways, good save Tom. Round goes Jelly. That's going to drop him way back in the pack. BMW, so Ash Sutton leads the way by 0.8 of a second from Chris Smiley. Still a mighty effort this by Smiley, as that's Thompson getting it all wrong at the chicane. Can he hang on to it? He can, but he loses 1 place to Michael Crease. Toyota diving up the inside of Tom Oliphant, and through he goes. So the Corolla passes the 3 Series, and also look on the attack there is Josh Cook, number 66, and Oliphant's off the road. There was contact. Can he get it back on? He can they all miss him? Yes, thankfully. Whoa. This is what happened between Cook and Oliphant.
Yeah, Cook's trying to get up the inside. Oliphant's moving over to defend, and there's just that slightest of touches.
Leaning on one another as Hill goes off the road and back on again. Tom Chilton's trying to buy into this, as are Proctor and Sutton next in the queue. Ingram back on the inside of Cook, who gets run out wide, who has a massive slide. Blower back, Chris Smiley keeps Aidan Moffat at bay, and Aidan gets turned sideways by Matt Neal. There's more contact, and off the road goes Matt. And into the Armco. It's been a bad race for Matt.
Well, obviously up the inside is Smiley. Matt Neal tries to follow into the gap. Aidan comes across and there's contact. Now at this point, Aidan's got full lock on. There's nothing he can do. He can't correct that slide anymore. And so the front end just clips the back of Neal's car, which then spins across the road.
Safety car is deployed with Matt Neal's car parked by the side of the road. The safety car is deployed, and that could be Dan Camish's best chance of a win now. How did it all kick off? Thompson went wide by the look of it, came across the track. Michael Crease there makes contact with him, and more contact, and off they both go.
Oh, reminds me of me and Mike Smith in Sierra RS 500 days. Yep, and we didn't agree about it then either.
So Michael making his point. Bobby's not for listening too much at the moment. Wanted.
Yep.
New hinges.
I'm more angry than you are.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I can prove that by slamming the door harder. It's
James Gordon, all but round the outside, tries to go Senna Proctor. That's the fight for 4th as Carl Boardley runs out of road. Works, Proctor's all sideways. Goff and Adam Morgan get together, and Jack's having a big old moment down through Graham Hill Bend. Then it involves Ingram and Mayhem going into turn 3. Now this is what happened on lap 1. Goff hits the Hyundai Proctor, they come across and get involved with Morgan. Goff comes back across the road and bang into Ingram.
Yeah, I mean that was Proctor having his moment on the last lap. This is back. Oh, that was when the tyre went. That was
Ollie Jackson,
and that's Ollie Jackson.
This will account for why Carl Boardley is in the gravel. So look to the top of the picture, look at Lodge. He arrived with some speed.
He certainly did. Well, he managed to get the car turned a little bit, so it went into the tyre sideways rather than head first.
Corner on the outside line. This is what happened at the Island Bend hairpin a lap ago. And you see contact, which is Jack Goff getting involved there with Bobby Thompson. Partly the fact the car's in a dangerous place, but it's also, you can see there, the damage done to the tyre wall. Here's the incident, Tim.
Wait for the cars coming, shots. Oh, he was off early. He was off very early there. I thought he was going to run wide and maybe go across the inside, but he came into Old Hairpin with the car already lost, didn't he?
BTCC Racing, the Burt Taylor, Steve Dudman team looking for good results here as we catch up on more dramas at Old Hall. And that is Aidan Moffat going around. Oh, people scatter, thankfully no contact. Adam Morgan catches that, and it's Sutton who's on the attack to the inside of Ingram. Is there a gap? Not yet, but there is now. Turns the Toyota sideways, and Sutton backs out of it.
First race of the day. This was Nick Hamilton. Oh, he hit that pretty hard. That was too deep into Island Head.
The Infinity will pass the BMW here. Ash Sutton, whoops, that's Mike Bushell going way, way, way off onto the Foster circuit almost, the short circuit at Alton Park.
Here's a replay of the incident.
They went either side of Smiley.
Yeah, Cookie thought he was ahead. He thought he could turn in. Obviously, Creasy was fighting it out with Smiley, and 3 into 1 just doesn't go.
Cook turns in, he had his nose ahead, but as he turned in, bang, on the inside Michael Crease, and that fires Josh Cook across.
And Alex, our cameraman.
So Adam Morgan will drive past this thinking, please be a long clear-up operation. Let's try and work it all out. Stephen Jelly was up the road having one incident. So that's Jelly spinning. Hamilton comes along, and gets clipped by Jelly, and then Ollie Brown must have got into the back of him.
Yeah, that was Jelly having his moment, and in that situation, Hamilton was very unlucky to get tagged.
Yeah, and Ollie Brown was behind all of them, and I think went into the back of his teammate. Team Hart's had a horrible day, hasn't it?
Been in communication with Matt this morning.
Yeah, so Matt comes out, drops a left rear, coming out the chicane. You see it just digs in. A couple of people got away with that. Matt didn't. Straight in, front right. It's quite a big impact, that. Matt had to go for a concussion test with Dr. Trafford. And then he had to go this morning to get that sorted. I think that's a roundabout now. I think he should be okay, but we'll get confirmation on that.
They've all been bunching up and falling over each other behind him. Oh, and Cook's lost it. That's going to be a big off. Now, did he have a problem?
Now, let's see, Tim. Was there a touch? Was there a nudge? Let's see what happened.
He got out onto the dirt a little bit, and then as he came down, the car just swapped ends. There was definitely no contact. All I can think of is he got a bit of dirt on the rear of the tyre, or something broke in the rear.
And Turkington crawling all over the back of Sutton as they drop through McIntyre's for the first time.
Yeah, well, as predicted, the two rear-wheel drive cars, and round goes Cook. Oh, no! Well, he hasn't even had an opportunity.
Here it is from another angle. So Josh goes to the outside, Bushell up the inside of Jack Butel, who I think was trying to give him room on the inside, but Josh on the outside.
Said he thought, oh, Hill, big slide there. Is Butcher going to look up the inside? He is. He's going to force the issue, but he's locked up because he's gone on the grass. Couldn't stop the car and gone straight on, but he's going to keep it going. Got the weight on and the car just isn't working for you. And straight on his Jelly. Does he come back on cleanly? No, he's going to lose it.
Oh, Stephen. And he's in the gravel. Can he get out of there? Tom Oliphant at bay. Jake Hill is up with them. Then it's Tom Chilton in 6th place. And the next train of cars headed by Adam Moffat. Ollie Jackson gets contacted. It goes around by Bushell. T-bones in. He's then collected by Sam Osborne. Andy Neat, I think, was involved in that. There's an instant safety car, and that's a biggie.
That could be very well be a red flag.
And around he goes.
He already had a puncture or something wrong, because it was or a locked rear wheel, because it was dragging tyre smoke as he left McIntyre's corner, and then the car just rotated, either because he was slow going through the dip and got tagged, or because the rear just spun round on him a bit like Josh Cook.
There's the replay. Cars scatter. Mike Bushell with nowhere to go. Then he in turn gets glanced by Sam Osborne. There's debris everywhere, and it is a red flag. The race is being stopped. So there.
Yeah, the wheel is locked. Look, the wheel is locked.
Yeah.
So he's going to be slow down here, and the car just rotates. It's like pulling the handbrake on.
And there's Mike Bushell going into the side, and the chain reaction is triggered. Right, so Turkington wants to find a way past the Ford, but in doing so can't afford to leave the door even ajar. Can he hit a spin? That's Jake Hill losing it, coming out of the chicane. And a misfire for Colin Turkington is the news from the pits.
Looks like Boardley's been off.
Or has a problem, or both, and he gets attacked from behind. Whoops, Andy Neat into the back of him. What's that about?
That was very clumsy. That was really clumsy. I mean, Carl already had been off.
So, from another angle, as Tim said, the car is slow. Andy Neate gets into the back once, Boardley almost out of the way, and then bang.
Yeah, I don't quite understand. There was plenty of room on the right, wasn't there? But
well, and here, more drama into the chicane. Tom Onslow Cole. Andy Neate gets sideways. Sam Osborne involved, and Andy Neate's torrid day continues. 0.288 last time. Drama here up at Beckett. You see Morgan having a go on the side. That was Matt Neal getting sideways, so he lost out to Hill, to Chilton. Whoops,
Jelly gets a little touch. Crease into the side of Gornall and into the gravel. Can he get it out of there? We saw in qualifying on board with Jade Edwards coming into Beckett's, and you see the cars in front going. She has plenty of time to react, and very important. Again, Camish took no chances with his pick balls. Oh, Butcher slid wide. Did he have a little touch from Sutton?
He did. There was contact. Sutton into the back of Butcher. Around he has gone.
Oh, they just got pinched. He got pinched from the from Onslow Cole in the middle, and somebody else. Carl Boardley on the left. Just 3 into 1 won't go.
That's the first incident. Now, what about Jade Edwards and Andy Neate? There they are, coming out of Luffield. And Andy Neate is the one that gets turned around and hits the wall. So it's 2 separate incidents, and this is how Jade saw, first of all, the Ingram incident, so exit stage left, and then wait for Andy Neate to come along.
Oh, she's had a hit there, and then Neate's moved over on her and turned himself around the front of her. He's got a run here on Osborne. Oh no, high speed off for Butcher and rolled over. Hopefully no one else hits it.
On board with Turkington.
On board with Turkington. Butcher's got clearly past, that's Matt Neal, I think, isn't it? And then they just contact each other in the braking area. Yeah, it's Matt Neal. Yeah. They just come together in the braking area in the most unfortunate way, which turns Butcher around, and with virtually no braking done whatsoever. Look, he just hits the end of that barrier, corner on, rear corner on, and that flips the car over and back onto the track. Oh, car's going either side of him.
And from another angle, this is what we'd picked up on Off He Flies, and hits the barrier right in front of one of the Marshals posts. Again, the Marshals doing a great, brave job. Have to duck out of the way as bits fly, cars fly, debris flies, and everybody else.
And obviously the accident's taking place already as Sutton comes into view. Neal is spinning there, and then wait for it. Oh! Wow. All of a sudden, there's Butcher's car. So similar to Rob Collard's accident, really.
Mentioned earlier the Marshals and how they had to duck for cover. Just have a look at this very brave Marshal who suddenly sees a car coming, and he has to, in a moment, make a run for it because there's an almighty clang in front of him, and just ducks down at the right moment because, boom, the Marshals post itself, look, is knocked back a good few feet as the Ford just launches itself off the barrier. More energy is now flung away as it rolls, it twists, it turns, but the internals of the car standing up very well to a huge impact. But the Infinity looking quicker than the BMW. Butcher to the inside of Oliphant into the complex. Sutton gets turned around. Mayhem just about avoided. Oliphant doesn't make contact, thankfully. Looking back from Turkington.
Butcher's trying to get past Oliphant and just clips the back of Sutton's car. Rear-wheel drive. It's fortunately for him, he goes round 360 degrees and nobody tags him.
With the pack, Ingram's on the grass, 2 wheels on the lawn as he comes down to Clervaux. It's going to be Josh Cook that hits the front, and Turkington goes very deep into the corner and through the gravel. Sutton's ahead of him, and Turkington's in the tyre barrier. That is not something you see very often. He can't dig it out of there, and Turkington's championship chances take a big hammer blow at turn 1.
Cold front tyres, he couldn't stop the car. Another big off, it's Butcher again. Fortunately, this time there's no barrier in the way. In the background, you can see Turkington trying to get out. He makes an average start, not a really good one, and then a little, wait for it, just can't stop the car. Can't stop the car.
And the tyre barrier awaits with open arms to ensnare the BMW. He's second, he's up to 14th. Going nicely as Sutton goes to the inside of Hill. This for second place, there's contact. Damage to the Infinity. Sutton backs out of it, lets Jake Hill keep the pace, but he has got a puncher.
He's got a punch on the right front. He will have only himself to blame. This is the replay. He dives very late. There's not really as much of a gap. Inevitably, there's a bit of contact, and that causes the damage to the front of the puncture. He may well regret that move. He didn't need to make it. It was extremely marginal, and he's only ended up compromising himself and his championship.
So they go through the Jim Clark S's, the kink at Barcroft, down to Sunny. Look, Neil closes, gets up the inside, turns Cook sideways, and he goes through. He didn't back out of it to let Josh keep the place, so Matt Neal goes through, but that surely is going to be discussed post-race. It's going to be Tom Chilton that leads the way. Up into second place goes Ingram then, through on the inside. Camish third, and Matt Neal and Jake Hill get together, and Stephen Jelly gets it wrong. Possibly contact, but either way, he's had a half spin.
Yeah, and Turkington across the inside, trying to avoid any kind of... Oh, he's got a problem. Turkington's going slowly.
Replay of lap 1 on board with Turkington. Ollie Jackson ahead.
Oh, we got a little bit of contact there, whether that's broken a drive shaft or something on the rear.
Don't forget, this car has got 54 kilos. A big off there. That is Bobby Thompson, who has come to grief. So the Audi off the road. Marshals go to the aid of the driver. The safety car deployed instantly.
Yes, great to see him get out of the car. He's clearly winded, not surprised after the way that car went over.
Now let's see if we can piece it all together. There he is off in the background, and then the car just digs in. Over it goes.
Yeah, for some reason he was out on the right-hand side. Wow, that must have gone over completely 5 or 6 times. He was on the right-hand side of the... He was off the track, wasn't he, before the turn-in to the Jim Clark S's. Yes. Whether he'd been forced off the road or what, I don't know. But, yeah, the car hit the sort of dirt sideways on, just dug in and started flipping it over.
So this is on board with Sutton. Have a look to the right. He gets squeezed onto the grass there by somebody.
Yeah, that's what we suspected. He was rubbing with, I can't see, is it Aidan Moffat? Might be Aidan Moffat. But he was, yeah, I think it might have been Aidan Moffat, actually.
But it's Turkington that leads them down into Rich's corner. Tom Ingram up into second place. Jake Hill third, then Dan Camish fourth. And a tag and around goes Tom Oliphant.
Oliphant and Sutton got together. And Sutton looks to have saved it. Here comes Sutton, Oliphant, and also Jackson. Now we'll just see a little bit of a touch, a little bit of bunching there. Well, it was all kicking off there.
Ooh. Wow. Chilton having a dive down the inside of Stephen Jelly.
But once he'd made the dive, he couldn't do anything about it. And I mean, I'm not saying Ingram did anything wrong, but you know, he saw that Hill was coming for him, and he's given the position back.
Matt Neal collision, we're being told.
Well, actually, it was Crease hitting Oliphant, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Matt Neal was just behind.
Off goes Jack Goff.
Oh, where's he gone off? He's hit the barrier somewhere.
He has. Looks like heavy damage on that. So, moment on the dirt. Bang. Nasty hit.
That is a nasty hit. Got a wheel on the wet grass, and it turned him across the road all the way into the barrier. Through turn 1, and Butcher's not particularly close. That was a big error of judgment there. Big error of judgment. Matt Neal on the last corner. Over that huge curve. Brave move.
Ollie Jackson now, Smiley back up into third place. Josh Cook side by side with Dan Camish. This is a classic race 3 scenario. Rory Butcher coming up in the mix as well. Dan Camish looking to have a go through. Camish sideways, little punt on tap there from Cook.
Well, Camish, and this is incident with... actually, in fairness to Cook, he was sort of moving over to protect his position and got tagged himself.
The first little tap seemed to be from Rory Butcher there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Just there. And then it all sort of plays out.
You watch, Cook comes across to try and protect his position. Well, difficult to tell, but it's first lap bunching up, isn't it?
Carl Borden and Stephen Jelly coming together.
Oh no, the 2 1 Series cars going off.
Let's have a look at it from another angle. It looks like,
it's coming down towards the Agostini hairpin, and look, it was Sutton trying to get up the inside. He then ran wide, and then you've got Turkington, Sutton and Ingram all together, and then Well, Turkington actually ended up running into the back of them. There was nowhere for him to go. They were side by side still on the way down to Oggies.
Wow, so it was the inside line on the exit of Palmer where the gap was. Replay again. Oh!
That's why Smiley's gone.
Yeah.
Camish got up the inside, up the rear of it.
For first and second, third and fourth. Ingram's having a go. Morgan getting very close indeed. Looks on the outside line here. He's going to try and get the run to the flag and tagged on the last corner. Ingram coming together with Butcher.
Well, Ingram was through.
Have a look at that once again. Here we come.
Well, that's the end of the manoeuvre when Butcher fires into Ingram, who was clearly ahead at that point. He got the job done.
Contact there.
That's
what happened.
Where he was pushed across onto the grass and then couldn't stop. This is a better view of it. So Ingram gets up the inside. Butcher loses control, gets on the grass and can't stop the car.
So Turkington staying in 8th place for the moment. Replay of lap 1. Nicholas Hamilton with possibly a bit of an assist from Senna Proctor, goes rally crossing. Glyn Geddy, Sam Osborne off the road at Druids. Glyn Geddy not amused, as you saw 2 cars in the gravel, and the race is being neutralised, and Glyn Geddy wants a word with Sam Osborne. And the marshal says, no, you go over there and calm down. And Sam Osborne is doing the right thing and staying in his car for the moment while Glyn Geddy calms down. And this is what happened. Well, they've already made contact and got crossed up. Glyn Geddy into the gravel, Sam Osborne into the gravel. Safety car deployed.
Yeah, well, probably wise of Sam to stay in the car. This was actually his 55th BTCC race. You need to just wait and keep your tempers down. Calm down, guys. Come on. Marshall doing a good job there. You hit me, says Glyn.
Ingram tries one side and then the other. Ollie Jackson's on his toes, but it's Sutton who is going to have the race lead. Down towards paddock for the first time. Camish on the inside. The motorbase cars make contact. Jake Hill's involved. Ingram is all sideways. Camish is sideways as well. Can they all toboggan their way out of the gravel and back onto the road? Yes, yes, yes.
It's all about to get very busy, slippery and slidey into turn 1. Up the inside, 3 into 1. Won't go. Jackson got a bit of a slide. Camish was sliding. Ingram was out wide.
Nicholas Hamilton go and Jack Goff rejoins the road. Now Andy Neate has done briefly the fastest lap of the race. Now Colin Turkington has done the fastest lap. So Turkington on slicks, the fastest man on the circuit, as you see, off with a bit of help going off the road. Ingram gets up the inside as well. Turkington tries to follow suit, so Turkington is alongside Camish. Out wide goes Turkington. Cook gets tapped sideways, damage on Hill's car. It's all kicked off at Druids. Oliphant goes back ahead of his teammate. He leans on Cook as they drop downhill. Turkington on the inside, Hill on the outside. Is Jake going to go round on the outside? No, he's not. This is Turkington's view. Jake Hill's all over the weeds, and a spin from Tom Oliphant as well.
The run up the inside, but Camish is fighting it out round the outside. There little touch with Cook and Turkington that sent him wide. Then he comes out with Oliphant in front, and then Jake Hill as well. And Turkington reads that situation just right, doesn't he?
That's Brad Philpott, the first driver to be negotiated, and Paul Rivette's car's in the way. They just avoided, but in all of that, Camish braked harder, and Turkington has gone through right in the middle of the road. Here it is again, look, Rivette loses it, slides across the circuit, it goes back. Adam, that's Jack Butel avoiding it. Ash Sutton just round the outside. Now, wait for Camish to appear on the scene. Turkington got closest to it. There he is, look how close Turkington was, but as Camish hit the anchors, up and past him went Turkington.
Well, let's just see this from on board. Obviously, Ooh.
Now this is what happened. Hill on the inside of Cook. They get together, they both run out wide, the door is opened, Morgan goes through, Ingram goes through, and this is Dan Camish up the inside of Adam Morgan. Clatters into the side of him, turns him around, and that costs Adam Morgan another place.